last week, obviously a tough loss for you guys against Capital City in the crosstown matchup. Just kind of take me back there and what you're taking away from that.
I think it's just another step in our process, another step in our journey. Um, that I've said numerous times now that Bobby Bowden, who I admire as much as you could, said there are four steps to building or rebuilding a program in this instance. And that you lose big, then you lose small, then you win small, and you win big. And as much as anyone, I want to fast forward straight to the fourth phase. But I think when you look at our scores, even Friday night, we're winning at halftime. So we've demonstrated that we can compete with absolutely anyone. We have to get to the point where winning is a habit here now.
Yeah, going back to kind of just the start of the season until now, the offense has put up some big numbers on the board, and last week was just the lowest that they've put up all season. What do you
Mm.
think was different last game with the offense compared to weeks past?
Well, one thing that was different is like in the first half, we only had the ball twice. So you can't score a bunch of points if you don't have the ball. We had two drives basically, and scored on one of them. So we'll take that every time. And then in the second half, we did lack a good deal of execution, and we have absolutely been able to use it as a learning opportunity, and we'll grow from it and get better.
At this point in the season, being 2-3, the playoffs, I feel like they're coming faster than we all expected. Just what are you honing in on to kind of get your team ready for that next step?
Well, I love the way that Misha structures the playoffs here in Missouri, that you truly can be totally focused on getting better and growing as a team because it's when the district tournament starts that you play until you don't win anymore. And I love that. I think we're in great shape with our growth. And like I mentioned, um, that we have had the lead or been tied at every game we've played this year. And we have played some legitimate competition. Um, we're the smallest public school in the CMAC, and we can still compete with everybody else. We just want to hurry up and get to that fourth stage where we're winning big again.
Leading up to this Friday, obviously a huge matchup. Just talk a little bit about the history between Jefferson City and Hickman.
It's cool. It's one of the first things I learned while doing research, that it's the longest running rivalry west of the Mississippi or something like that. So I think as a lover of the game, that it's an honor and a privilege to be able to say that you had even a small part in such a storied history. And we played them here, so I've already been a little part of it. I hear it's quite the experience going up there to play. So I look forward to that experience.
What have you seen out of Hickman so far this season? They had a pretty rough start, and then went up big against Smith Cotton last week.
Yeah, well, they too haven't exactly played anybody incredibly weak or anything like that. They've played a tough schedule. Their kids play hard, as is usual for them. My experience with them, incredibly talented athletes. They have athletes for days, it seems like. So we're definitely going to have to try to find a way to minimize that, and see if we can stay competitive through the half and try to make it a complete game now.
Cedric Alvick's Hickman's coach. Just what have you seen out of his coaching styles that are kind of set them apart a little bit?
It seems like their kids have fun, and I mean that in a good way. That their kids enjoy playing. I think they do a good job, being multiple, like running a little option, spreading you out, but still trying to run the football. They're not afraid to sling it around. They're not afraid to be multiple and be a pressure defense. So it's pretty clear to me, anyway, from where I sit, that he's doing a heck of a job.
When I talked to him earlier, he told me how well Jefferson City fans travel. So he's expecting a lot of you guys up at Hickman. Are you expecting kind of the same out of your fan base?
I am. This is a special place, and um, we've won 8 of our last 13, so we're 8-5 in our last 13 games here. And quite honestly, even though the student population is as low as it's ever been here, our 2 home games that we've had, our student section, our fan section has been rocking. and there seems to be a renewed level of spirit, and it's exciting. So I'm sure this will just be another step in that journey.